Folks, I'm a man who likes to play with his Wii. Alright, that didn't really sound all that right, but the Nintendo Wii was a really cool system in my opinion. Yes, it was essentially just a beefed up GameCube. Yes, it was nowhere near as powerful as the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360, but the Nintendo Wii really managed to save Nintendo. The Nintendo GameCube was not a success by any stretch of the imagination. So to release a beefed up GameCube with motion controls, which was an unproven thing at the time, was really a bold step for Nintendo to take. But I think it was a smart step for Nintendo to take, and I think the results of that with the Wii being a very successful selling system just goes to show that. Of course, you had a great library of first-party games from Nintendo on the system, games like Super Mario Galaxy and of course The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. You also had interesting third-party titles on there. You had games like Silent Hill, Shattered Memories. A lot of different ports came to the system, and there were some really cool games like the Red Steel series that also saw a release on the Nintendo Wii as well. You had a great virtual console. All in all, I thought the Wii was a fantastic console, and I've actually been looking at a Wii Dual, which is an HDMI modded Nintendo Wii system. And I got a bunch of photos of this, I got a bunch of video of it, I've been taking a lot of glamour shots, and then I went to actually play the system because I was really curious to see just how good this system actually was. And I realized something. I have no freaking idea where any of my Wiimotes are. And I'm a man who had at least 4 Wiimotes, probably 2 Wii Motion Plus controllers, and like 8 Nunchucks. And all of them are just gone. I have searched through boxes, I've searched through a bunch of stuff. I have no idea where these Wiimotes are. My local GameStop didn't have any in stock either, and I came up with this right here. This is the power-led Nintendo Wiimote with Motion Plus sensoring and Nunchuck. This thing was like 20 bucks, and honestly, I just hope it works. Like, I don't know why I bought a bootleg or a fake Nintendo Wii controller in 2019. Well, I honestly do know why I did that, because I'm a cheap person, a cheap individual, and I think as long as it's a controller that works decently enough, I am happy with it. So what is this controller? Is this thing going to even work? It was like 20 bucks. It supposedly has Wii Motion Plus capability, which of course was used in games like Red Steel 2, and it comes with a Nunchuck. That's what we're gonna find out today. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's look at my fake Wii Motion Plus controller with Nunchuck.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my god, it's Stevie Richards! Alright, so here we have the power-led Wii Motion Plus controller for Wii Plus case. New, made in China, because when I think of quality, you know, my mind always goes to power-led, a company that has been around forever, you know, just the semblance of quality when it comes to video game. I've never heard of power-led. Like, who has heard of power-led? But like I said, it was 20 bucks. So here's the packaging that it comes in, you know, very, very nice. It came in one of those crappy Amazon bubble mailer things. I did break this because, you know, if you've ever seen me, I'm not very good at opening stickers, but here we go. This is the first unboxing, the first unveiling of my new Wii Motion Plus controller. So let's take a look at this bad boy here. Got a little piece of tape on it. And here we go. Oh my god. I mean, honestly, it looks decent. Like, it looks very similar to a Wii Motion Plus controller, the standard one. It has the Motion 2-in-1, I guess symbolizing that there is a Wii Motion Plus in here. It does have the little silicone grip that you got with the Wii Motion Plus controller. Admittedly, the buttons don't feel bad. Like, I expected this to be a lot crappier than it is. But all the buttons feel, you know, pretty decent on this. You know what? I'm not regretting my purchase quite as much. Of course, you have your slot here for the additional controllers. You have your battery input there, so I got to throw some batteries and crap in here. But, you know, not bad. It is light, but I mean, that will sort of weigh itself out when I get some batteries in here, of course. Let's take a look at the Nunchuck, though. And once again, like, not terrible. Once again, it is pretty light. We have our buttons on here. These buttons don't feel quite as good, I would say, as the buttons on the actual Wiimote controller are concerned. Like this Z button is actually a little bit sticky, honestly. I don't quite like it. But the analog stick feels nice. You have a decent controller length for the cable cord. So You know, not bad. Let's throw some batteries in here though, try out some games and see how it actually works, because if it doesn't work, then, you know, it's just an absolute waste of money. But so far, for 20 bucks, I'm actually somewhat pleasantly surprised at the build quality of this. All right, so here we have our power-led Wii Motion Plus Ghetto controller and nunchuck. As you can see, we're at the home menu of the Wii system. This is the Wii Dual modded Wii that I'm using, so I don't have any of my old save files on here, but I basically just want to check out a standard Wii game, a game that supports Wii Motion Plus, and then plug a classic controller into it and check out an old school game just to make sure everything works all right. First impressions, the controller does have a vibration feature, so that's, you know, a good thing. It's not all that great, honestly. It's not quite as good as the original Wiimote, I feel, but it does work, so that's good. Let's check out a little House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return. I absolutely love this compilation. You know, that was one of the really cool things about the Wii, is the light gun games on it. You know, you had the House of the Dead games, you had Ghost Squad on here as well. Just really good zapper based, you know, light gun games. Messing around with the analog stick on the controller, it does feel a bit stiff on the nunchuck. As you can see, we have a beautiful picture quality going on right now. One thing you probably just heard, the microphone that is built into the Wii Motion Plus 2-in-1 controller here. You know, it's not that great. It's not like the original Wiimote controller had a really great, you know, speaker built into it to begin with, but it's definitely very crackly on here. You know, not a huge deal, but definitely something worth noting. So let's play a little House of the Dead here. You know, honestly, it feels decent, you know. I did calibrate it. I have my my sensor bar below the television, but you know, it's working. Like, everything seems good. I'm able to point where I want to point once I have, you know, my position set up that I want to point at. Of course, maybe this isn't the best looking game on the Wii. We'll get to, you know, a better looking game next. I'm going to play a little of the Conduit 2, which I thought was just a beautiful game that used Wii Motion Plus. But, you know, I'm obviously going to use some of this footage in my Wii Dual review because, you know, it looks pretty damn good. Definitely a lot cleaner than using, you know, standard cables with the Wii, or even component cables with the Wii. And we're going to do comparisons of the Wii U playing Wii games versus the Wii playing Wii games as well, because obviously the Wii U does have an HDMI port. But yeah, so, you know, so far so good. The controller is working fine. It seems to be good. Now I'm going to check out, like I said, the Conduit 2, so we can get a look at how that works, a game that supports Wii Motion Plus. Alright, so here we have the Conduit 2 for the Nintendo Wii. A really fun first-person shooter. We're going to go into the options menu here. As you can see, we have a Wii Motion Plus option. Let's see if this thing actually has Wii Motion Plus built in. Detected and enabled. Hey, you know what? They did not lie to us with this controller. So that's good. It actually does have Wii Motion Plus in here. As you can see, this game was a first-person shooter, a really fun game. Hopefully I can skip all, yeah, we can skip all this. Get straight into the action, because I want to give the Nunchuck analog stick a little bit of a control, you know, tryout here. See how that sort of feels. Of course, we'll have to use the Wii Motion Plus to take out these individuals. Yeah, I probably should adjust it a bit. This game still looks pretty cool, I think. You know, you could definitely feel the Wii Motion Plus Extra. It's definitely a lot more sensitive. I probably should have calibrated it to, you know, work a little bit better. But I really just want to sort of try it out just to make sure, you know, it actually works. And it is working, so, you know, that's... Oh, goodness. This game, I remember playing this game a lot. This and the original Conduit was a really fun game. Shoot him! Kaboom! So yeah, you know, it works. Like, it's definitely weird playing a you know, a game with motion controls, because it's been so long since I have used, you know, motion controls or played a Nintendo Wii. But it's such a cool system, and you know, this controller seems to be working pretty decently, you know, better than I anticipated. It obviously has Wii Motion Plus in it, so now we're going to set up a classic controller into this thing, make sure that it does, you know, allow for classic controllers, and then I'll give my final thoughts on this bootleg ass little Nintendo Wiimote controller. Alright, and finally we are checking out a game with a classic controller plugged into our Nintendo Wiimote, and everything plugged in fine, everything seemed to work right off the bat. And yeah, so, you know, that's good. I do notice that it seems like the controller battery does seem to be draining a bit fast. But I honestly can't get past how good this game looks. You gotta remember, I'm using a Nintendo Wii with the Wii Dual mod on it. That of course allows for HDMI out. There will be a video on this in a day or two on the channel. But very, very impressive stuff here from a visual standpoint. Like these games look absolutely fantastic on my big HD television, which you don't really equate with the Nintendo Wii. But as you can see, the controls are working a-okay, just fine. So now let's wrap this up and get my final thoughts on the ghetto Wiimote controller that I have. So what are my final thoughts on the power-led Wii Motion Plus controller and Nunchuck? Honestly, it's pretty decent. I do think the Z button on the Nunchuck is a bit crappy. The analog stick took a little bit to get used to, but as far as the actual Wii Motion Plus controller is concerned, it works good. I was honestly pretty impressed. The button quality on it is really decent. There are two complaints I have about it. It does sort of go into sleep mode pretty quickly when you're not using the controller, which I thought was weird. That could be tied into the battery life. I am using some cheap dollar store batteries because, I mean, it's me we're talking about here. And the speaker on it is kind of a bit low quality, but the original Wiimote speaker was also pretty low quality. But all in all, I'm impressed by this thing. I didn't even expect it to work all that good for $20, but it definitely sort of exceeded my expectations of this. So a crappy, you know, bootleg fake Wii Motion Plus controller in 2019 seemed like a decent option for me. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section down below. Like I said, we're going to be doing a full video on the Wii Dual in the upcoming days here on the channel. It's a really awesome mod for the system. This Wii that I have right now is just absolutely amazing, so I definitely want to show it off to you guys. And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.